I uncovered the Vatican's darkest secrets. You won't believe what I found. Since childhood, I had always been captivated by mysteries. While other children played with toys, I immersed myself in tales of the arcane, the esoteric, and the hidden. My favorite stories were about secret societies, hidden treasures, and forbidden knowledge. Among all these captivating legends, none intrigued me more than the enigma surrounding the Vatican. The Vatican was shrouded in layers of secrecy, rumored to be the keeper of ancient manuscripts, forbidden artifacts, and truths that could alter the course of history. I became an avid reader of conspiracy theories, spending late nights poring over online forums and obscure books that hinted at what lay behind the Vatican's grand facade. My obsession was all-consuming, and I knew deep down that I had to uncover the truths hidden within its walls. One fateful night, while scrolling through Reddit, I stumbled upon a thread that would change everything. The post was from a user claiming to have sneaked into the Vatican's archives during a private tour. His description was tantalizing, detailing strange artifacts and even whispers of dark rituals. I was hooked. Other users chimed in with similar stories, their comments igniting my fervor. It became clear, if this person could do it, then so could I. Days turned into weeks as I plotted my infiltration. I spent countless hours researching the Vatican's layout, its history, and its security measures. I learned about the Swiss guards, the multiple checkpoints, and the vast labyrinth of corridors that housed the archives. I absorbed every detail, fueled by an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. The most crucial element of my plan was to create a credible cover story. I crafted a false identity as a historian specializing in ancient texts. After networking with individuals connected to the Vatican, I managed to secure an invitation to a public seminar hosted by the Vatican on the preservation of historical documents. This was my chance to gain entry. On the day of the seminar, I dressed meticulously in a tailored suit, blending in with the crowd of scholars and dignitaries. My heart raced with a mix of excitement and anxiety as I entered the Vatican's gates. The majestic architecture loomed around me, but I was determined to stay focused. I marveled at the beauty around me, from the intricate frescoes to the towering pillars, but time was ticking. After the seminar concluded, I remained in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. As attendees mingled, I seized the opportunity to slip away from the group, making my way towards the archives. The dimly lit corridor was lined with rows of ancient texts, the air thick with history. My senses heightened, I could almost feel the weight of centuries resting upon my shoulders. As I navigated through the maze of shelves, I discovered a side door slightly ajar. My heart pounded with anticipation. Pushing the door open, I found myself in a narrow passageway, seemingly untouched by time. The faint smell of parchment and ink filled the air, igniting my excitement. I had entered the inner sanctum, where the most guarded secrets were held. I followed the passage, its walls adorned with intricate carvings depicting biblical scenes and symbols of ancient power. Eventually, I came across a heavy wooden door marked with ornate brass fittings. With a deep breath, I pushed it open to reveal a circular chamber that seemed to pulse with energy. In the center of the room stood an imposing pedestal, upon which rested a large tome bound in aged leather. Its cover was embossed with a symbol I recognized from my studies, an emblem of an ancient order believed to guard the secrets of the universe. I approached cautiously, aware that I was treading on sacred ground. As I opened the tome, I was mesmerized by the flowing script inside, a language that felt both foreign and familiar. My fingers trembled as I traced the words, and a strange sensation washed over me, as if the book were alive, resonating with power. I felt a deep connection to the knowledge within, a connection that was both exhilarating and terrifying. But my exploration was far from over. As I continued to explore the chamber, I discovered a series of glass cases, each containing extraordinary artifacts. There were ancient scrolls, beautifully illuminated manuscripts, and objects that defied explanation. One case held a peculiar relic, a small, intricately carved box that emanated an almost magnetic energy. I could hardly resist the urge to touch it. Suddenly, I heard footsteps approaching. My heart raced as I ducked behind a massive tapestry that hung from the ceiling. Two figures entered the chamber, cloaked in dark robes. They began to discuss the importance of secrecy and the lengths they would go to protect these ancient artifacts. Their words sent chills down my spine. "We cannot allow the truth to be exposed," one of them said, his voice low and ominous. "The last time someone attempted to uncover our secrets, it ended in disaster." As I eavesdropped, I realized I was witnessing a pivotal moment. The figures spoke of a hidden society that had existed for centuries, dedicated to safeguarding the knowledge within the Vatican. They referred to an impending threat, a group seeking to exploit the artifacts for personal gain. Determined to learn more, I listened intently. They mentioned a prophecy tied to the artifacts, foretelling a time when someone would unlock their true power. My heart raced as I connected the dots. The items I had stumbled upon were not just relics, they held the potential to change the very fabric of reality. Realizing I needed to escape before I was discovered, I quietly retraced my steps. I dashed down the corridor, my heart pounding as the footsteps behind me grew louder. Panic surged through me. I had to find a way out before it was too late. Navigating through the labyrinthine passages, I could feel the weight of their presence closing in. I had come too far to be caught now. As I approached the exit, I heard voices echoing in the distance. The guards were alerted, and I knew I had to act quickly. In a moment of desperation, I ducked into a small alcove, pressing myself against the wall as I held my breath. I could hear the guards' footsteps, their voices filled with urgency as they discussed the breach. "Check all exits. We cannot let anyone escape with that knowledge," one of them commanded. I waited, heart racing, until the footsteps faded into the distance. Taking a deep breath, I made my way towards a side door that led outside. With trembling hands, I pushed it open and burst into the fresh air, feeling the sunlight hit my face like a wave of relief. Though I had escaped, the sense of safety was fleeting. In the days that followed, my life took a dark turn. Strange occurrences began to plague my existence. I noticed unfamiliar faces watching me from a distance, shadows lurking at the edges of my vision. I felt an overwhelming sense of paranoia, as if the secrets I had uncovered were now following me. Driven by fear, I turned to the one place I thought might offer answers, the very threads on Reddit that had ignited my quest. I began to document my experiences, sharing my story with fellow seekers of truth. The response was overwhelming, others chimed in with their own encounters, and it became clear that I was not alone in my pursuit of knowledge. Amidst this chaos, the small crystal I had pocketed from the vault weighed heavily on my mind. I felt an inexplicable connection to it, as if it held the key to understanding the knowledge I had encountered. Nights turned into long hours of research, and I delved into the lore surrounding the artifacts and the prophecies tied to them. The crystal pulsed with energy, and during quiet moments, I could almost hear whispers emanating from it, beckoning me to uncover its mysteries. It was both a source of power and a burden, a reminder of the choices I had made and the secrets I had unearthed. Weeks later, I received a message from an anonymous source claiming to have valuable information about the society I had overheard. Intrigued and desperate for answers, I arranged to meet in a secluded cafe, my heart pounding with both excitement and apprehension. The figure who approached was cloaked in a long coat, their face obscured by shadows. "You've uncovered something significant," they said, their voice low and conspiratorial. "But you need to understand the consequences of what you possess. The artifacts are part of a much larger game, and you are now a player." They spoke of a hidden organization that sought to control the knowledge within the Vatican for their own ends. The artifacts were not merely relics, they were keys to unlocking powers beyond imagination. My heart raced as they revealed plans for an imminent move to seize control of the Vatican's hidden knowledge. As we delved deeper, we uncovered more disturbing secrets. There were whispers of ancient rites still performed within the Vatican, of powerful figures who had sacrificed their ethics in the name of preserving knowledge. Our research revealed that the society I had overheard was known as the Order of the Veil, an organization that operated in the shadows, pulling strings to control what information reached the public. Members of this order believed that knowledge was a double-edged sword, capable of liberating humanity or plunging it into chaos. Their motto, "Knowledge is power, but power must be guarded," resonated deeply with me, as I realized the weight of the secrets I had stumbled upon. The artifacts were not merely historical treasures, they were instruments of power that could shape the world. Driven by our discoveries, we began to piece together a prophecy that surrounded the artifacts. It spoke of a time when the guardian of the lost knowledge would rise, a figure who would either unlock the potential of the artifacts or doom humanity to eternal darkness. As we delved into the texts, the gravity of the situation became apparent. I was the guardian foretold in the prophecy, and I had inadvertently set the wheels in motion. The group began to strategize. We needed to protect the artifacts from falling into the wrong hands while also finding a way to harness their power for good. But who could we trust? The shadows around us grew darker as we realized the Order of the Veil had eyes everywhere. Whispers in the dark warned of betrayal and intrigue. There were factions even within the church itself that sought to control the artifacts for their purposes. To combat this growing threat, we knew we needed allies. I reached out to historians, archaeologists, and even former members of the clergy who had been ostracized for questioning the Vatican's methods. We formed an underground network dedicated to exposing the truths that lay buried beneath centuries of dogma and secrecy. Meetings took place in abandoned buildings and secluded locations, where we shared information and strategized. The atmosphere was tense but charged with purpose. Each meeting brought us closer to uncovering the mysteries of the artifacts, and yet, it also put us at greater risk. During one of these clandestine meetings, an unexpected ally emerged, a former Swiss guard named Marco, who had resigned due to his disillusionment with the Vatican's inner workings. He shared harrowing stories of the lengths to which the Order of the Veil would go to protect their secrets. His insider knowledge was invaluable, providing us with a roadmap of the security measures surrounding the vaults and the individuals who could pose threats. With Marco's help, we devised a daring plan to access the archives once more, this time to retrieve specific artifacts that we believed held the keys to deciphering the prophecy. We meticulously mapped out the security protocols, aiming for a night when the guards would be at their weakest. On the chosen night, we donned disguises and made our way to the Vatican. The tension was palpable as we navigated through the shadows, heartbeats echoing in our ears. As we approached the archives, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. The air crackled with anticipation and fear. Just as we reached the main chamber, the alarm suddenly blared, piercing the silence of the night. Panic erupted, and we knew our time was limited. In the chaos, I spotted the tome I had seen during my first visit, but now was not the time to hesitate. I seized it, clutching it tightly as we dashed down the corridors, desperate to escape. As we neared the exit, we were cornered by members of the Order of the Veil, their dark robes blending into the shadows. They had been waiting for us, anticipating our every move. "You cannot escape with that knowledge," one of them hissed, stepping forward. I felt a surge of defiance. "You underestimate the power of truth," I declared, brandishing the tome. "This knowledge is not yours to hoard." A tense standoff ensued, but before they could react, Marco sprang into action, providing us with a crucial distraction. Using his training, he engaged the guards, creating a diversion that allowed us to slip through the door just in time. We raced into the night, the weight of the tome and the crystal heavy in my bag. We had escaped, but the battle was far from over. As we regrouped in a safe location, we realized we needed to act quickly. The Order of the Veil would not rest until the tome was returned, and the prophecy remained hidden. We deciphered some of the texts we had retrieved, revealing that the true power of the artifacts could only be unlocked through an ancient ritual that required the collective energy of those who sought the truth. With this revelation, we set out to gather more allies, reaching out to individuals who had been wronged by the Vatican or had encountered the order before. Each new ally brought unique skills and knowledge, and together we began to prepare for the ritual that could either save us or doom us. The night of the ritual arrived, and we convened in an underground chamber, far away from the prying eyes of the order. The atmosphere was electric, charged with a mix of fear and hope. As we formed a circle, I placed the tome and the crystal at the center, feeling the energy surge through the room. We began to chant, our voices rising in unison as we focused on the power of the artifacts. The air shimmered with energy, and I felt a deep connection to each person around me, a shared purpose binding us together. The room pulsed with light, and the tome opened on its own, revealing pages of ancient knowledge that had been hidden for centuries. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a blinding light erupted from the tome, engulfing us. I closed my eyes, surrendering to the power flowing through me. Images flashed before my mind, visions of the past, the sacrifices made to protect this knowledge, and the path forward for humanity. It was overwhelming yet enlightening. When the light faded, I opened my eyes to find the room transformed. The artifacts had begun to glow, resonating with the energy we had unleashed. We had awakened something powerful, a force that could rewrite the narrative of history. The prophecy had come to fruition, but it was only the beginning. We knew that our work was far from over. The Order of the Veil would not give up easily, and we needed to protect this newfound knowledge from falling into their hands. But now we had a purpose, to use the power of the artifacts to inspire change and seek the truth, no matter the cost. As I looked around at my allies, I felt a renewed sense of hope. We were no longer just seekers of truth, we were now guardians of knowledge. Together, we would face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to confront the shadows of the past and bring light to the truths that had been hidden for far too long. The journey into the heart of the Vatican's secrets had transformed me. I had stepped into a world of hidden truths, danger, and profound knowledge. I had become part of a greater story, one that would continue to unfold in the face of adversity. The battle for knowledge was just beginning, and I was ready to embrace it.